Welcome to the 10-Acre Woods. Today we're going to answer a question that many people ask. How did we get started? And when did we get started? So we're going to show you a little bit of a journey on how we got to where we are today. Got a good rain last night. Severe rain. And as you can see, our septic field is doing its job, high and dry. So, abnormally high water year, and I guess this is what happens. So, when the house is built, it'll be built a little bit higher up, of course. But the water's just underneath the trailer. So as you can see, things have changed. We've managed to correct our water issues, and as you can see, there is our septic field, still high and dry. And we do get no more water in this area unless we get torrential downpours. Then we get, you can see a little bit of water in this area here. And we sometimes get a little bit over here, but not nearly like we did in the past. In around 2003, we started to come up with ideas on how we could correct this issue. So what we did is we dug a trench from the pond where it currently resides and straight up to the front into the ditch. So any water that comes into the pond, it'll then overflow, go down the trench, and out where it's supposed to go. Well, September 23rd, water's down. Leveled out a lot of this. So here we are today. You can see the trench runs out here and down to the front ditch, overflowing from the pond, which is actually a little low this time of year. In the fall, we usually see any kind of flooding in the spring. But as you can tell, grass has grown in here nicely. We've got our new buildings and new structures, and of course all of our new animals. And of course, here is the view from the pond now. So as you can see, things have aged a little bit. Trees have grown up a little. Grass has grown in. We got rid of our trailer that was attached to the building here. And a goose flying in. So as you can see, things look quite different from 2003. This was actually our first building that we built for the animals. It was a rabbit hutch. We then built this side here once we realized, wow, when you get rabbits, you need to separate them. So we built this one here for the boys. And then 2004, we went and covered in the two buildings and completed them for keeping the snow and the wind out in the wintertime. So here is the first rabbit hutch. You can kind of see here how we built it up. We just did what's called a mud sill. And what that means is, you can see over here there are railway ties that run along the outside of it. And then we just built our 2x4 frame on top of it. Here you can see the old hutches that we had built to keep our moms separated while they're having their young. So it's a wood floor in here, and over on the edge here we have some grating material. That it's just a grate that allows the poop and everything to fall through, and we had a tray in here to collect it, and then we would just pull it out, we would dump it out and put it back in. And then of course this is where we had our water bottle. Now what we've found works really well this past year was we put down these tiles. Now it's easy to clean up, and of course the rabbits aren't digging down into the ground, which is quite an issue that you can have. This side here doesn't have the concrete blocks, but what we do have is we have this same kind of stucco wire that goes underneath the gravel, and then there's gravel on top so they can't dig through. So we have the rabbit hutches, and then we have our first ever chicken coop. So this chicken coop has seen better days. Of course the floor has rotted out, and what we're going to do is we're going to finish pulling this out and then just filling it in with gravel. Now here's our nesting boxes that we have up here, and there's a little door down here that we had an exit out into a small yard that was out in this area. This top area we had pigeons in, which worked very well. This top just closes down. You have the pigeons in this area where they have their nesting, and they have an exit to go outside. So they would come and go as they pleased. The big issue that we had, probably 5 years ago, I guess it was, we had crows that came into the area, and they decided that, I guess it was a bad year for food. We lost all of our pigeons. So we had to kind of do a restock on that and take a look and see how to get the crows not to come around. Now we've had issues with crows killing roosters. You wouldn't think that a crow would come in and kill a rooster, but they do. So what we had done is we had gotten our geese. Of course, here's our guineas. So our geese that you can see over here have done an excellent job. You can see how noisy and honky they are. And they have kept the crows away. Another way that we kept the crows away, we actually kind of stumbled across. We wanted to get a purple martin house. So we had put that up, and it was actually donated to us by a gentleman last fall, probably around this time. And our thought was purple martins. Now we had heard that purple martins actually chase crows away. What it was actually well, they may do that. We've heard afterwards that no, they don't. We've looked at different sites, bird sites. Now, who moved in was the sparrows. So we had a family of sparrows, and they're probably still in there. I'll throw up a picture here of a couple of them. And we've noticed that they moved in, and the crows that come around, you've probably seen before. You'll see a crow flying along, and then you'll see some smaller birds that are kind of chasing it. Those are sparrows. So what they do is they're very protective, and they will keep a zone around their home, which is basically encompasses the animal area as well. So we do have some crows that do kind of pop in from time to time. The closest they get up into these trees up here, and they'll sit in those trees. So if they come down close to the ground, the geese will go over and scare the crow off. If they're just doing a flyby in the zone, the sparrows will fly in, and they will actually, it almost looks like an escort, a military escort. They'll escort them off the property and then return back to their nesting ground. Now, because of the lack of buildings that we had back then, what we ended up having to do was bring animals inside. Of course, it's always fun to have a goat tromping through your living room, or a duckling playing with your dog. So since then, we've built up some buildings. We've come up with some new ideas on how to heat the buildings. But of course, there's always that time where that animal needs that extra special care. So to this day, we still bring animals in the house. Piglets, goats, anyone that we have to keep an extra eye on just to make sure that they're going to make it through their tough times. The first rescue we ever did was a llama called Big Mama and a cow, a Jersey cow named Daisy. So we brought these two of many in from Kenora, Ontario, What had happened is my wife's sister contacted us and said there was a local farm and there was an elderly man that had passed away. They had nowhere to put the animals and didn't know what to do with them. So she contacted us, and we thus contacted them and told them that yes, we will take them in and we will pay the freight to bring them in. Thanks for watching, and again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next time.